since the Edmonton Oilers played the Nashville Predators. And for Edmonton, that could be bad news. The Oilers have owned the Preds the last 5 or 6 years, and after back-to-back losses, that man, against his former teammates, will look to help resuscitate Edmonton tonight. Conner Engrom getting the call against his old team, the team that gave him his first shot in the National Hockey League, and then that's the Nashville Predators. And when you back up this guy, as Engrom did Saros 4 years ago, you almost never play across the board, first in starts, saves, minutes, the last 5 years in the NHL. That man, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, as the graphic shows you, sitting on 499 assists on a line with Conner McDavid and Zach Hyman to start. Ekholm and Bouchard. Ekholm seeing Nashville once again. And we are underway with Edmonton and Nashville for the first of 3 this season and the first of 2 in a week. Your starting lineup brought to you by our friends at Bet99.net. And Nugent Hopkins scampers in under duress. The Preds with a clear up the right-hand side. Both teams last played on Saturday. Edmonton beaten by Philadelphia 5-2. Nashville nicked Calgary 4-3. McDavid to Bouchard on his backhand, and that was tipped away at the last moment by Nick Perbix against Hyman. Nugent Hopkins back to Bouchard. Ekholm loads up, shoots, and a glove save made by Saros. What do you think, Lou? Is this the tonic Edmonton needs tonight?
It just could be. You know, there's some players that have a tremendous history against the Predators. Fourth line versus top line here in the first matchup in this game as the McDavid line goes up against the McCarron line. Hem them in a little bit. Good save by Saros. But this guy right here, number 29, Leon Draisaitl, has had some fantastic success against Nashville. Puck hasn't been going in the net for him. This is the kind of game that maybe he's marked on the calendar to break out again. 11 goals in 12 games against Saros specifically, and 26 in his last 20 against Nashville. Only Jerome McGinley has scored more goals against the Nashville Predators than Leon Draisaitl. Sent in deep. This looks like icing against visiting Nashville. And Louis, a lot of people were leaving this team for dead with 6 wins in their first 22. It's amazing how they've turned it around. You and I had a great conversation with Andrew Burnett yesterday, and just for him, he said, listen, we saw the signs starting to come forward, but it was pretty hard to sled. Ryan O'Reilly has been a veteran in this league for a long time, and he says they were dark days trying to turn it around, but they've grinded. They have not lost 2 in a row for a long, long time, and that's been the difference. They've been able to dig in, find wins. Only 4 losses in that span since only 6. Forsberg, a shot and a save made by Conner Engrom. Steven Stamkos, who delivered a game-saving block at the horn in Calgary. We weren't sure he was going to play, but he is in the lineup wearing 91. I know it still looks a little strange, but he's in his second year in Nashville and has not missed a game with the Preds since joining them. And he is hot right now. Puck's going in the net for him. Just scored goal number 600, the 22nd player in history to do it. And when he's flying on all cylinders, it seems like the team does. Luke Evangelista out to the point. That was struck by Haig, who got the game winner in the final minute and a half against Calgary. Actually scored with 29 seconds to go. This one redirected, stays out. Eric Holla recently named to the Finnish Olympic team. And on to Nick Haig, who reaches the red line and bangs it in deep. Engrom unable to knock it down, booted by Henry. Bouchard wheels it over to Ty Emberson, and Edmonton a reset here with 2 minutes gone by in our scoreless first period. And the Oilers have lost just once in regulation in their last 17 against Nashville, and it was on home ice. Ryan O'Reilly had a hat trick. They've won 7 of 8 here at Rogers Place head-to-head. Quickly swept up by Justin Barrett. Nashville dressing 7 defensemen tonight. Veteran forward Jonathan Marchessault remains out due to injury, and they've been going 11-7. Here's Josie stepping up, spinning on his backhand, knocked off balance, and quickly chipped up the right-hand side by Matt Savoy. Held in by Josi, and now inside to Tyson Jost, the well-traveled one. Grabbed by Janmark, eventually funneled out, but held in the high slot, and then Jost gave it away again. Janmark poked it free. Savoy's in a drive, and a kick save made by Saros, who's won 10 of his last 14 after winning just 6 of his first 18 starts. Good stay with it on that shift by this line. actually succeeded.
McDavid up to Darnell Nurse. He had 2 goals and an assist the last time they played in mid-November of last year. McDavid, including the OT winner for Nurse. Showed slapper, then tried a wrist shot that was blocked, and O'Reilly able to clear up to Philip Forsberg, who gathers and dumps it in. Reds begin the night 3 points out of a wild card spot, as it doesn't look like anyone's catching the top 3 in the Central. Edmonton right there with a share of first place, and both Vegas and Anaheim are losing tonight. Here's Nugent Hopkins redirected on net, and a tough save made on McDavid by Saros.
Was it ever? Because he was sliding and the wickets were open, and he just catches it with the left pad and is able to close the pads together to pinch it off. Chances at both ends. This redirection by Bunting in tight. Always difficult when that puck changes directions like that. Matt Savoy's speed down the right-hand side tests Saros on that one, and this pass by Nugent Hopkins through the legs on the backhand side. And McDavid just kind of chips it back against the grain. Solid save by Saros early.
He's got a 15-game point streak going right now, and he's also got a 15-game point streak against the Nashville Predators. This Conner McDavid, launched up by Blankenberg, who's really found a home in Nashville after playing sparingly in Columbus. This is going to be an icing call against the Edmonton Oilers.
And Andrew Burnett seems pretty confident whatever line is on the ice. And it's always a tough matchup with the Oilers. You've got Draisaitl, McDavid, especially in the top 6. But he started the 4th line, and they weren't hurrying to get off the ice. So that's going to be something for Edmonton in this game. You know, be better than the line that's out there against you.
And they're going with an ozone draw here with the 4th line. And Louis, I get the feeling, as it's cut off by Reed Schaefer, the Edmonton native, of course, involved in the Matthias Ekholm deal. Here's Kasperi Kapanen, as Gene talked about, back for the first time since mid-October, hurting against Detroit. But the Preds still like to use that 4th line as a bit of an energy starter.
It's a team system, and I think Andrew Burnett has just followed that through. Barry Trotz obviously has a big hand in this organization now.
Oh, centering pass, and Evangelista missed that one from Schaefer. That could have been 1-0 for the Preds. Got through, cleared by Spencer Stastny, of course, picked up for a draft pick from Nashville earlier this year. Now a shot by Evangelista, and a tough save made, hanging in Conner Engrom. A good start after he gave up 6 against Boston on New Year's Eve. Here's a tip out of play by Nick Hague, who, of course, most Edmonton fans will remember as a Vegas Golden Knight.
And we've seen it a couple of times, rangy defensemen, some big forwards as well for the Nashville Predators, and I think that's why for Burnett, he doesn't mind putting those matchups out there against top lines. Barry Trotz, longtime coach of the Nashville Predators, when they first came, now the general manager, and that template is just kind of followed through, and they speak the same language. And when you and I talked to Andrew, he said this has been done by committee. It's the only way we can dig ourselves out of it. And it's still a work in progress, as it always is in the NHL season. It's game by game.
Reds a game over 500 at 19-18-4. The Oilers 20-16-6 as a shot by Bunting is speared by Conner Engrom.
This period brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
Well, here's what we were talking about, Jack, as far as how this team has turned it around. 6-12-4 in the first 22 games, only 6 wins, 13 in the last 19. And it was a game that Ryan O'Reilly said November 26th at Detroit, where he kind of felt they turned the corner. And it was a big win in Detroit, a tough game that they battled through. And he says they really haven't looked back. Since that point in time, they have not lost 2 in a row. That's pretty impressive.
Punched forward by Bunting, coming off the second career 4-point game of his career against the Calgary Flames. And if I said career twice in that same sentence, I apologize. Henrique will nudge it back to Bouchard, and it's reset for the Edmonton Oilers. 5.5 minutes into the scoreless first. Ekholm up to the red line, drills it in deep. Key piece added by Edmonton. And Schaefer, Edmonton's late first-round pick, well, he's now finally in the National Hockey League with the Preds. Forsberg tries a shot. That was blocked by Henrique. Rebound Regula. Lost it in the corner. But eventually Rosovic had a chance for a clear. Little move by Forsberg. Neat little pass and a shot by Svechkov. Ends up off the plexi. Taken by Jost from distance. His shot does not make its way through. Brady Shea down low. Svechkov inside to Evangelista. Misses again. And now Shea to Jost. Shot blocked by Regula.
3 good block shots in this shift. A puck that should have been out on the line again. That's 3 times already early in this first. We talked about it last game.
Josi tried to drag move on Regula, but forgot the puck.
So that puck doesn't get out, Jack, and 3 chances against, taken away by 3 solid blocks. Henrique, Regula, and a glove save by Darnell Nurse in front that doesn't allow that wrister with traffic to get to his goaltender. Can't let it get there. Good
Stastny
job.
with a stretch to Janmark. He'll chip it in. Curtis Lazar back in the lineup after a 2-game absence. The Oilers putting Mangiapane in the press box tonight. Also Trent Frederick with Kapanen's return. Here's Forsberg dragging it back across the line. Defended well by Savoy. The Oilers in transition. Janmark spinning, creating for Savoy. Dropped to the 4th line tonight for Edmonton as the shuffles continue with Kapanen joining that second unit alongside Draisaitl and Podkolzin. Michael McCarron bangs it down low.
And I think also Roslovic going down to the 3rd line with Howard and Henrique just to try and, spark a little offense from the bottom 6. It's been dry.
McDavid denied entry as he approached the Nashville line. Sent in deep by Cole Smith. Reds a playoff team 2 years ago. Nowhere close last year. Dropped off to 30, 44, and 8. And when they struggled in the first month, there were rumblings. Dropped by Engrom against McCarron, but he was able to punch it free for Bouchard, and Nashville took a penalty.
Tony McCarron, he doesn't like it. I don't know if it was on the fly, but maybe he caught Engrom when he was trying to poke this puck.
But it's a delayed call. Reds have a lull the Oilers into a pretty close 8.5 minutes. Here in the first 8.5 minutes. But this penalty gives Edmonton an opportunity to get up on its red-hot power play with a goal in 9 of its last 10.
Yeah, both power plays pretty solid right now. Edmonton will get the first one. McCarron with this chip in. Not handled by Engrom. Watch him kind of swing the stick. Catches him in the visor. Edmonton on the power play. So therefore it's not considered a follow-through. Good pickup, guys, with the camera angle on that one. And he did catch, even if it's a touch on the face shield, it's still a high stick, or the mask of Engrom, sorry.
That was a great look at it, as you said. Awesome work. And now we remind you that the Oiler Power Play is brought to you by Play Alberta. And Edmonton has been just scorching on the man advantage lately. Nashville 29th in the league on the road in the PK. Here's a tip by Hyman as Nugent Hopkins threw it on net, looking for that 500th career assist, but Saros able to gobble it up.
What a heady play by Nugent Hopkins, too. I mean, he's being forced aggressively. This is an aggressive penalty kill at the line. You watch how fast they close on him, and he still has the wherewithal to just zip this down. He recognizes that Hyman's wide open.
Drive
gets a little piece of it.
Just missed. Rebound, McDavid to the net. A scramble, it's still loose, and finally dug out. An alert play by Cole Smith. Wow. Live hop off the dashers, and McDavid on a point-blank look. Here's Draisaitl. Moving it to Bouchard. McDavid cuts left to the net. Scores! There's no adequate defense for moves like that.
I agree, partner. There's not a whole lot you can do. You're caught flat-footed, and he's got full speed. Good drive deep by Draisaitl here on possession entry. It's back to Bouchard. He catches McDavid. Full tilt coming over the line. I mean, he's usually the guy that's transporting that puck over the line, the power play. A little different setup coming into the zone, and it pays off with McDavid being the trailer, but he's the trailer in the zone, and he just walks around everybody. Quick fake on Saros. There's nothing you can do when he's going that quick, and those quick hands wrapping around for a 1-0 lead.
With that power play goal, Save on Foods has given away their first prize. McDavid is 26th. 8 of which have now come on the power play. Here's a quick turnover. Holo with a centering pass. No one home. Evangelista, the closest spread to that puck. Quickly sent up ice, but pulls in a strike, and Kapanen denied by the blocker of Saros as Edmonton in transition with a chance. Bouchard and Draisaitl, who always lands on the score sheet against the Preds with the assists on the power play goal. That gives Edmonton a power play goal in 10 of the last 11 games. It's amazing, Louis. Preds are #1 in the league on the kill at home. But on the road, they just can't figure it out. Draisaitl knocks it down on an attempted clear by Saros. Chipped up to Jost, and he'll spin it ahead for Cole Smith, who got banged into by Emberson. 1-0 Edmonton. 19 straight games involving the Oilers. The team that scores first wins the hockey game. And the Oilers have won 11 straight when they get the first goal. Got the second best record in the league when they get the first goal. Draisaitl makes a play out of the corner to put Colson. Kapanen hits the trailer. Stastny plays onside. Put Colson. Emberson returns it down low to Curtis Lazar. Lost it off his backhand. And Yossi with the outlet. Svechkov, good friends with Colson, by the way. Fedor Svechkov. Lead pass Roslovic. Tried to chip it through Brady Shea. That did not pan out. And now you've got Bouchard off to Ekholm. Roslovic. Little move on Shea. A shot wide of the blocker of Saros. Rebound held in by Ekholm. Here's Shea. A second chance to move it up to McCarron, and he does. Whenever I see Brady Shea now, Louis, I can't help but think of the Chance the Rapper skit on Saturday Night Live. He made Brady Shea an immortal. He took one look at that last name and said, "I give up." Here's Yossi. Blasted in by Nick Perbix. Louis, you thought Perbix was suppressed in Tampa.
Yep. I think it's a good pickup for Nashville.
Here's McDavid walking in. Threw it across and right on cue. Perbix makes the play, creates a 2-on-1. Forsberg and McCarron. Forsberg to the net. And McCarron pulled up in the slot. And Forsberg thought he was going to continue to drive. Here's McDavid now the other way. What a move on him. He shoots, and somehow Saros, through heavy traffic, made the stop. Regula pounds one on net. And Saros eats it up. 8 minutes to go, first period. Conner McDavid at the height of his powers, coming right into your grill.
Returns January on City TV or streaming on City TV Plus.
I accept iPhone. Selected. 76. Go forward. Go.
To track down Forsberg, break up the 2-on-1, and then watch this. He gets back up the rush again, blows by a couple guys all the way to the net. You want to talk about a down and back. As hard as you can go, that was Zach Hyman on that shift. Excellent work.
And enough to get there and set a screen for McDavid. I mean, it's not like it's not like he's catching up to me. Here's Bouchard. Draisaitl. Bouchard down low. Chance for Ekholm. Takes it behind the net. Wrap around, and that was close. Saros has it right on the line.
There's been a lot of activity around Saros early on. The ex-Nashville Predators, you mentioned, comes over for Reed Schaefer, a player that Edmonton did not want to trade away, by the way. Reed Schaefer, a young, real power forward from the Edmonton area. But Ekholm was a big piece they wanted on the back end, and they made that deal. Had a good conversation with Schaefer yesterday, and he said, hey, you know what? No hard feelings. He's an Edmonton kid. He's been watching the playoff run, but his time now is with the Nashville Predators.
Stamkos with a steal, but his centering pass is intercepted by Bouchard. Regained. Ooh, that was close. Yep. Forsberg went down. Officials, in their estimation, ruled that he did so on his own board. Yeah, and Forsberg didn't argue or look back.
He was turning pretty sharply.
Emberson, I've just seen him do that before and not fall. So Forsberg is a guy who always comes to play against the Oilers. 14 goals in 28 games. Line well defended by Brady Shea. He flips it back to center. Edmonton a 1-0 lead. Power play goal. McDavid from Bouchard and Draisaitl. Another of the highlight reel variety. Mike Howard out there with Savoy and Janmark as Shea's lead pass eludes Evangelista. Shoveled up the right-hand side, England. Now Janmark trying to carve it out of that corner. Spencer Stastny to Howard. And now Janmark Breaks in. Calling for the puck is Howard. Didn't get it in a shooting position, though. It was a little late coming. Shea able to strip Janmark, but Howard's right back on the puck. Seems like he's buzzing a bit tonight, Louis. Keep an eye on Ike Howard.
He's looking to find some space. That's a good sign.
Shea against Regula. Isaac Howard.
Nashville's come up with a lot of sticks on pucks in the defensive zone, haven't they? We talked about that range. Big defensemen, big forwards. They get the sticks in the lane. A very good stick-checking team as far as putting sticks in lanes, and we've seen a few passes broken up in critical positions.
Karen plays it into the corner. Fedor Svechkov digging in, second-year man. And it's been so long since the Preds have played the Oilers. Only 7 players from the last time they played are in the lineup tonight. 7 out of 18. Even a different goalie. Scott Wedgwood played the Oilers the last time they met up. Nurse with a hard check, driving the net to Schaefer on his backhand. Save made by Engrom, rebound Regula. Nugent Hopkins shrugs off a check. Now McDavid somehow kept that play onside. Don't know how he did it. Against Perbix, and then Yossi, who rolled over with the secondary layer of coverage, and now fields a pass from Perbix and chips it back through center.
It's a great example where for McDavid, he still maintains possession of that puck, like going down. It's like the tunnel in surfing, riding the wave and shooting that tunnel down the wall.
Kapanen breaks in against Blankenberg. Got it back. Spun it to Ekholm. Across to Bouchard. Tried a centering pass. That was negated by Svechkov. Bouchard, little spin move to Draisaitl. Tried to shovel it in front. Svechkov again with an active stick, as Louis talked about. Breaks it up and now sets Forsberg loose. Wrist shot handled by Engrom. 4.5 to go in the first. Engrom makes his 5th save, and Conner McDavid continues to light it up. Into January, he's put the Oilers on top.
Attendants had a chance to go back to Spruce Grove for dinner last night. That's his dog Hugo with the Nashville bandana. There's Mom, Lindsay, Dad, Jeremy, and then the Grandpa on the Schaefer side. In all, Louis and Jackie estimated 38 tickets. I don't know if he paid for them all, but what was he going to do? Read them the riot act? Not at all. Happy to be home playing the team he cheered for when he was a kid.
Hey, Gene, were those hockey player legs or what?
Yeah,
that looked like Matt Hendricks.
Unbelievable. He's a big kid. And, great attitude. You know what? He had a smile on his face coming back home to play his first game against his hometown team. He understood the situation. He said, listen, the time for Edmonton would have loved to have been an Oiler, but now he's a Nashville Predator. They love this kid.
Roslovic to Emberson. We're getting a report. Adam Henrique not on the bench. We'll see if Schaefer's smile remains intact once he gets that ticket invoice.
Yeah, I was going to say he's paying to play in this one tonight.
Brady Shea a shot, and that made its way through. Engrom picks it up, then turned over by Stastny, rolled in front. And Roslovic there to bail out his teammate. Didn't quite get it out, though. Shea to Forsberg. Nashville pressing for the equalizer. Justin Barron, a high riser. That stayed out. O'Reilly kept it alive. Shea put it down low. Immediately sent up the plexi and out of play by Stastny.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Solid defending on that shift in the defensive zone for Edmonton, keeping the top line of Nashville to the outside. No real high-quality chances against. One sharp angle shot.
Try to get you an update on Adam Henrique as quickly as we can. Savoy moves in to take the draw, but beaten cleanly by Eric Holla. Fired in by Nick Hay. Rushed by Nurse over to Regula off balance. Centering pass, punch back to the point to Blankenberg, and now loading up with Evangelista in front, and Holla just missed. Sliding that one home from the slot. Hay got caught down low, but Holla rolled over to cancel out Savoy, rushing the other way.
Good sell by Evangelista, who's having a breakout season this year for the Predators. Sold shot the whole way, then that hard pass into the middle looking for a redirection. Draisaitl tried to make that play again up the middle, and this time it went to a Predator, so a turnover in zone. He made a great defensive play to steal the puck out of the air, but they're looking to break out through that middle, and that one just was off its target a little bit.
Blankenberg up the middle and sent in deep by Schaefer. Over as Regula did not get it out. There's a shot from distance. That was blocked. Herbex took the initial shot. Another drive by Yossi. A save Engrom, and then the rebound sitting underneath his left pad. He's able to scoop.
Twin towers on this line, the fourth line for the Predators. Going 11-7. You're seeing a lot of shuffling here from Andrew Burnett. Stamkos was put up on that top line. You're seeing a little makeshift second line for the Predators, just trying to find some offense, but big bodies around the net. Look at this. Smith's a big guy as well, so call it the triple towers there as he's standing right in front of Engrom on that blast, and Engrom had to scramble to find that loose puck.
When Nashville went to the playoffs, here's a turnover, chopped away from Stamkos. Bouchard did not get the elevation he was looking for, but as I was saying, when Nashville went to the playoffs 2 years ago with that late second half rush, it was that fourth line so crucial. It had Kiefer Sherwood on the line. They've been missing him ever since. Still looking for that kind of production, and that is not easily found. Here's Ekholm.
Raw energy too, right?
Oh, sure. McDavid, drop pass, Nugent Hopkins. I mean, without Kiefer Sherwood, where would Vancouver be right now? Bouchard a drop pass. McDavid rolls up. Around 1 minute, circling, trying to wrap it around into traffic, and Ryan O'Reilly calmly dumps it back inside the Edmonton Blue with 1:40 to go in this first period. Oilers lead it on a power play goal by Conner McDavid. His 26, now the tie for second with Matt Boldy of Minnesota in the goals department, trailing only Nate McKinnon. We are being told Adam Henrique has been ruled out for the remainder of tonight's game. Struggling offensively without a goal in 34 games, and now unavailable. Good finishing by Kapanen. Here's Podkolzin. With Kapanen having created the second opportunity in the zone, a shot by Stastny, double redirect, and right on Podkolzin's stick. Saros holding sway to keep it 1-0.
As the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers, MIC ensures precision in every shot. Go to where the pros go. MIC Medical Imaging.
You said it, Jack. Terrific effort here by Kasperi Kapanen to get on the forecheck. He disrupts Brady Shea, who's an excellent skater in his own right, but he tracks him down. Heavy hit, turns the puck over, leads to that chance by Podkolzin in the slot. That's why he's on the line with Draisaitl and Podkolzin. That speed, that physicality. First game back in a long time for Kapanen, but he's getting the legs pumping.
Roslovic's out there with Draisaitl and Kapanen. Reds are able to get it in deep with 1 minute to go in this first period. Bunting gets it back, makes a move around Draisaitl, who then recovers. Bunting stays strong on the puck. A shot from distance by Hollis, spilled by Engrom, but the rebound taken by Stastny, who again was in that 7-man rotation for Nashville the first month and a half of the year.
Yeah, he played 81 games over the last 4 years for the Predators. Said he's excited to see some of his old teammates, and you know, it's been changing in the last couple of years, quite aggressive, as you mentioned, probably why they've had some struggles, but excited to see his old friends and now play against them on the ice for the first time.
McDavid brings it into the zone, trying to cross seamer, deflected out to Bouchard. Ekholm with 12 seconds. McDavid in tight for Roslovic. Net front is Nugent Hopkins. Ekholm across to Bouchard. Oilers have to shoot it here. Ekholm does, and a save made by Saros. He'll freeze it with 2.2 on the clock.
Trying to time it right, and you can see that Janmark was just waiting for that opportunity. Nugent Hopkins to get to the front of the net at the right time. And the puck was going back and forth, and the Predators have done a pretty good job. Watch Nick Hague here. He's been boxing out in front. Nugent Hopkins was trying to get there on time at this blast, but Saros is able to see this one and fend it off.
Hague 6 years of Vegas Golden Knight. One last face-off, tied up. Hyman's got it. A little jostling with Yossi, and that's all for the opening 20 minutes, with Edmonton having taken a 1-0 lead on the power play goal by their captain.
Solid period by Edmonton here. Skating, getting pucks in behind, testing Saros on a regular basis, getting some traffic in front of him. The goal by McDavid. Pretty high end as they're chirping off the ice here beside me here as I'm trying to get out of the way. A little conversation going back to each respective dressing room, but good solid period to start this game by Edmonton.
Well, Nashville has spent the most time trailing in the NHL. The Preds are down 1-0 after 1 on Sportsnet.
Welcome back to Oilers Winners World Country 50-50, presented by Rogers, now live in support of the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation's Every Kid Deserves a Shot initiative. The main jackpot already at $257,844 and climbing fast. Get your tickets now at edmontonoilers.com/5050 for more chances to win. Kasperi Kapanen hated missing 36 games, but the one thing it did allow him to do was to spend more time with his wife, Matlena, who, as you can see, is pregnant and glowing as they prepare to have their first child. Now, the child, Louis and Jack, is due on February 6th, or that's when it's supposed to happen. We hope it does, and we wish them luck.
Well, it'd be a bit of a break, obviously.
Yeah.
Kasperi Kapanen's first game back, and again, he probably was... He thought he was ready to come back about 5 weeks after it first happened against Detroit, and then he re-injured himself in practice. Basically, the day before he was supposed to come back to the lineup, and the frustration, it's tough.
Yeah, he spoke about that. It is difficult, and you know, he thought he was going to be coming back in the lineup. Setback. Anytime there's a setback, it's terrible. Ooh.
Puck comes in front. Hyman a couple of whacks at it. Couldn't get it cleanly on his stick. 10 goals in his last 12, stepping up as Bouchard, and then he did not handle the puck cleanly, and here come the Preds. O'Reilly in for Forsberg, who mishandled it, coming the other way. O'Reilly another chance with a centering pass intended for Stamkos and off the mark, so Hyman will bring it the other way for Edmonton. Drop pass McDavid, forced out wide. 16-game point streak intact. Shot, Nurse just wide on the glove side. Did that tick the side of the net, partner?
Sounded like it. I was a little screened on the shot, but I heard a tick.
Here's Forsberg. You got to battle through those, Lou. O'Reilly gets it down low.
Tomorrow, 4 degrees cooler than today. People forecast for Edmonton.
Draisaitl has a man. It was Kapanen. Hit the trailer instead, but Colson, who wasn't looking to shoot, eventually fed it to Nurse down low, looking for Kapanen, broken up by Shea, laid off the glass and out to Reed Schaefer. He'll guide it cross ice. Streaking in is Adam Wilsby with control of the puck. Kicks it back. Shea is shot, and that stayed out. Rebound Shea down low. Regula turned it over. Schaefer will turn and thrust it back down low. Big hit laid on Cole Smith by Nurse. McCarron, weird hop out in the slot, and shoveled the other way by Vasily Podkolzin. Nudged back in, but immediately thrust back the other way. This is going to be icing, however, against Edmonton with $1:45 gone by in the second period, and the Oilers leading 1-0.
Similar start to the first period where there's been some turnovers and some bouncing pucks that have gone each way respectively. There's Kasperi Kapanen, as you mentioned, his first game back in the lineup since October. It's been a long time coming, but speed. Both teams have been moving the feet early in this period as they did in the first period, and it's creating some turnovers.
Blankenberg, little give and go up top, takes a shot, redirected, and a tough save made by Engrom, and a perfect deflection by Eric Holla.
Yeah, great job to get across and swallow that one up. And for Blankenberg, he's just trying to zip this through the screen. It's a great tip, as you mentioned, by Holla. Anytime it's going outside the net and then redirected inside the net, this one's going to bounce and go right in if it's not for Engrom getting across, and then he handles it. Find that bouncing puck midair and cut the play.
Holla again, part of that resurgence. Everyone got going, and Ryan O'Reilly told us that yesterday. He said everyone started scoring once we got those wins in Detroit and Chicago. It started to come. Holla 7 teams in his 13 years, but the 2 teams he's most proud of making, 4 Nations
Nashville
and the Olympic team in back-to-back years. Another icing call on Edmonton.
Well, you remember he went to Vegas in the expansion draft and he scored 29 goals that year, and he showed everybody that he's not just a defensive forward, that he's not a guy that can be put out there. He can play so many different roles. And you know, he's jumped around a little bit in his career, but there's always teams that want a guy like Erik Haula. He's a guy that can play in multitude of positions, up and down your lineup. But he comes to play every day. That's one thing I'll say about him when he's in Boston. He was the kind of guy that could go up and down your lineup and just be like a Swiss Army knife, and that's why he's made the Olympic team.
7th round pick, too. I mean, we're not talking about a guy who was a lock to stay in the NHL. Haula stripped Roslovic up the right-hand side for Evangelista. I mean, just to make it 13 years and 7 teams. When you're a 7th rounder, Louis, I think most 7th rounders would take that every time. Emerson.
It's a belief for him, too, right? Yeah, he's always kind of played with that belief that he can play. And that's not always easy, as you mentioned, Jack, when you're getting shuffled around, you're up and down in the lineup, maybe out of the lineup, trying to find your way. You have to always maintain that belief in yourself. And
Howard in front. Excuse me, Louis, and what a chance for Savoy. Isaac Howard poised to make an impact in this game. Hit a cutting Savoy. Wow. Barron stands up on Howard. And that's going to be play with a high stick by Hyman.
Good wham-bam chance here, and that's kind of the forecheck again, just trying to find loose pucks and come up with that play. This rim around is handled well by Howard, and he does a nice job, number one, to corral it off the wall and then quickly put it right out to the slot. And you're right, that's the chance Savoy's looking for. He funneled himself right to that slot. Good save. Saros.
Savoy had him going the other way. Just missed it. Perbix going to be guilty of icing here off the draw.
A lot of times in those chances that happen so quickly, you're just trying to make sure you get to the net. And for Savoy, he tries low instead of high. You could tell he was trying to put it into an open spot down low instead of trying to elevate. And that's just a quick decision that happens. But for Howard, you talked about him earlier, buzzing around, finding that puck, making plays. That's exactly the way that Chris Knobloch wants to see him play with pace. And for Isaac Howard, I'll give him a lot of credit. When we talked to him when he first got recalled from Bakersfield, that's what he said. He said the one thing coming back up to the NHL, play with pace. That was a real quick play.
Smashed high and wide by Ekholm off the draw. Gets another chance up top. This time moves it over to Bouchard. One-timer Nugent Hopkins. That was heading wide. And Saros lays it to rest.
No matter McDavid's ambition, CIBC would have a personalized plan, just like we'll have a plan for you too. CIBC, proud partner of Conner McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers.
It's a smart play, Jack, by UC Saros there. Just that shot was about 5 feet wide of the net by Nugent Hopkins, but he knows it's the top line. Get a whistle, settle things down. Don't let this line run around in the offensive zone.
Oilers with a share of first place coming in. The other contenders, Vegas and Anaheim, each with just 2 wins in their last 10, and they're both losing again tonight. LA's been struggling. The one team that's really made a move lately is Seattle. Here's McDavid in tight, a quick shot, and flipped the side of the net. Portion of the crowd thought that was in from Bouchard.
Chance in traffic for Bouchard.
Perbix fending off Nugent Hopkins, dropping it off. Quick step shot by Stamkos and a save made by Engrom. Stamkos' next goal will bring him even with Yari Curry for 21st all-time.
Yeah, incredible career so far.
Lead pass McDavid, cuts to his left, almost single-handedly bringing Nashville back into contention. He had 6 game-winning goals in the month of December alone.
There's very few players in the game that when they shoot the puck almost every time they feel it has a chance to go in the net. Steven Stamkos is one of those guys.
That's an excellent point. Jan Martin, rink wide, Roslovic to the net, denied by Saros on the wrist shot. With 4.5 gone by in the second. Score remains 1-0 Edmonton.
Terrific job here by Roslovic to pick this puck up on the fly, and a quick transitional play by Edmonton up the ice. Center drive, and for Roslovic, once he corrals it, he gets it away. Maybe not the angle that he wants to. A good job to come back and recover and break it up just a little bit. But Roslovic getting the feet pumping, and not an easy task. A little Hemsky-like. Remember the old Oiler head?
Oh, sure.
He was so good at picking up pucks at full speed with his skate. Didn't matter where you threw that puck. The old saying, you can't give a great player a bad pass. They'll pick it up some way, shape, or form. Alashevsky was like that. Rostovic's got a lot of that in him.
The ability to play with elite players. Shoveled up by Holland. Here's Michael Bunting trying to level this game. Pressure from Regula, sent it off the boards. Nurse grappling with Evangelista. Bunting, who played with Nurse and Sault Ste. Marie. Now we've got a penalty coming against Regula, and for the first time tonight, Nashville's resurgent power play will get a look. Along with the rest of their hockey club, Louis, the Preds have really improved in this area over the last month.
Yeah, it's on fire as well. It's a dangerous power play right now. I believe it's a slash or a trip. Yeah, it's a trip. As Regula, there it is, takes down Evangelista. He comes down aggressively, but it's the left leg that he kind of just drags behind, and as Evangelista turns at that time, so Regula trying to pitch him off on the wall. Good job by Evangelista, who's really broken out this year for Nashville. A solid young player that's putting up points this year is going to bust right through his career high set last year.
You see that Nashville power play ranking. They were sitting around 14-15%, but 12 power play goals in their last 14 games. Better than 30% over that stretch, and here's Yossi off the draw. Oiler penalty killing unit, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins, and McDavid. Forsberg in tight, stolen by Bouchard, and the Oilers off to the races. Here's McDavid with Yossi back, shoots, and a glove save made by Saros. He'll leave it on the deck for Stamkos, and a change for McDavid and Nugent Hopkins. No Adam Henrique, remember. He's lost for the game. Evangelista in over the line. O'Reilly tried to go cross ice. Excellent pick by Savoy. He'll launch it back the other way. And Janmark will crowd Roman Yossi.
Savoy just has a knack for getting in that right position defensively, doesn't he? And excellent read on that pass across.
Forsberg had it raked off his stick. Here's Janmark. Smart play to go to Emerson. Did not get it through, however. And it comes free to Evangelista. Yossi showing one-timer. Stamkos, no shot. He's got 4 power play goals on the year, as does Michael Bunting to lead the team. Evangelista. Bunting. Evangelista. Stamkos. Whiffs. Shoots. And that was blocked in front. Emerson quickly gathers and alertly looks and sees he has some space. So he skates it to center, dumps it in, and that drains the power play time under a half minute. Fedor Svechkov against McDavid. Challenging up top. Nugent Hopkins almost shook that puck free. Blankenburg. It's a one thing. If you've got an inexperienced guy or two on your power play, and McDavid and Nugent Hopkins are out there.
You're right. If he were to pick that off, McDavid was sweeping in full speed, just hoping that he got possession. He's gone.
Nurse launched at length of the ice. That's going to do it for the Nashville power play. Blankenburg hits the line. Bunting, a shot kicked aside by Engrom as the Oilers return to full strength. Regula a little late getting out of the box. Here's Bunting. From Holland. And back to Holland. Centering pass tipped away. Just one shot credited. Draisaitl under control for Edmonton to Ekholm, who guides it up the boards to Zach Hyman. Had Nurse in the middle. Instead, it's Ekholm stepping up. Nurse toward the net. He was looking for Ekholm's stick. Draisaitl under duress behind the goal. Podkolzin gives it right back to him. Here's Spencer Stastny. Slide step to his right. Against his old mates.
Seen that a couple times where he's faked like he's going to put a puck deep and walked around the forward. Stastny using that great skating ability.
Hyman to Draisaitl. Surveys and dishes out to Ekholm. Looks for a lane. Back to Draisaitl. Snapshot save. Saros. Rebound. Bouncing puck. Good keep by Stastny against Cole Smith, who couldn't clear. But Podkolzin. Now Draisaitl. Stastny. Shot. Save. Rebound available. Still loose. Grabbed by Podkolzin. Draisaitl threw it across. Ekholm showing one-timer. No stick for Saros. Stastny. Draisaitl. Stastny. In front. Hyman looked up. Took his eye off it. Preds forced it into the corner. McCarron Kept it alive for Smith, and now finally lifted out by Svechkov.
Relentless pressure by this line, and just second effort battles. Grillsby and Hyman were in a real battle in front of the net, but just recovering pucks.
Stastny made a nice play at the line as well to keep it in. Here's Roslovic off the rush. Quick shot. And Kapanen had that one rocketed out of play. 9 minutes having elapsed in the second period. The Edmonton Oilers with a 1-0 lead. Hyman looking to make it 2. And the durable UC Saros keeps it a 1-goal deficit. Tonight's Closer Look brought to you by Specsavers. Don't miss a play. Keep your eyes healthy with regular eye exams, including OCT.
Well, a terrific December, Jack, and it's no coincidence, well, it is not a coincidence that this guy has been on fire. And why the team has kind of turned around their success. This goal tonight was just fantastic. Again, catches his puck with speed coming into the zone, the power play. You're not going to slow him down. McDavid and Hyman have combined for 22 goals in the last 14 games, including this one, 17 for the rest of the forwards, 44 for the rest of the team forwards, defensemen combined. That's 50% of the goals from two players. You need more people pulling on that rope. There's been a lot of discussion about the depth scoring for Edmonton. When 97's going, he gives you a chance to win every night.
Hey, stop showing off with your 22 out of 44 is 50%.
Hey, that's about the only math that I can do.
Here's Nurse backhanding it up to McDavid, who's one off a career high for his point streak, by the way. Here's McDavid inside to Hyman. It's in 16 games. Twice he's had a 17-game streak. Here's Hyman behind the net. Only Merrill Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky have more 15-game point streaks than McDavid's. 6, and Nurse's shot caught cleanly by McDavid's. 6, and Nurse's shot caught cleanly by Saros.
And I think important to note, Jack, they're not going to apologize for having the best player in the game right now. And I mean, I know he's going head-to-head with McKinnon. McKinnon's at a level that only few players can get to, including McDavid. But
there we go.
You know, this right here, most 15-game point streaks in NHL history. He's third right now, only behind the magnificent one. So you got to think he's got a pretty good chance of catching Mario. Maybe not Wayne, though.
Nurse a shot redirected a couple of times, and Saros handles that well.
But never say never, right? I mean, that's
want to put it past
that's
him.
a tall task, but he's gone on some terrific tears.
Look at this ricochet.
This is a tough save, too. Through traffic, a bouncing puck off a deflection, and Saros still comes up with it somehow. Both goaltenders have been sharp. Engrom up against his old team has made some real solid saves. That last one on Bunting down the left-hand side, he had to make a good left pad kick on that one just after a power play, and Saros has been tested often.
McDavid cleans up O'Reilly in the circle. Well defended in front of the net by Preds captain Roman Josi. Nurse to McDavid. Second time inside to Nugent Hopkins. Gathers, slings it across to Alec Regula. Now McDavid with Hyman in the slot. Snapshot blocked. Rebound McDavid. Back up top to Nurse. Regula shovels. Ripped up the right-hand side, and the Preds nearly minute in the defensive zone will be extended further, and the Oilers will bring out fresh troops. Icing.
This line's been really good, and Stamkos and Evangelista have switched on the right-hand side. Stamkos going up to that top line. He's done it in this stretch for them. Andrew Burnett not afraid to shuffle it around, but it's because of how dominating the top line of Edmonton has been with the puck on their stick. They're recovering pucks. Hyman's been just a workhorse. Going to battle in front, working pucks out of the corner. Nugent Hopkins and McDavid round out the trio, and they are snapping it around.
Collision in front, Perbix and Podkolzin. Here's Draisaitl. Preds top line has been out there a minute 30 now. Kapanen centering pass, broken up by Josi. Bouchard across, one-timer at Colm, and that might have grazed the blocker on its way by of Saros.
He got it. Good read through the traffic as well.
Kapanen soccered it down low, then Ekholm kept it at the line, finally nudged out by Forsberg. Now this is a long change. Reds are going to try to execute it. They got a partial one. Draisaitl across one touch, looking for Kapanen, and that just misfired, and then Draisaitl lost the handle, then got it back from Michael Bunting. O'Reilly another chance to get it out, and finally it's carved out to the Oiler line. Perbix was caught. Here's Draisaitl to the net. Got a hand checked by Josi, and the official emphatically pointing at Draisaitl, no penalty. Bunting to Evangelista, his shot caught up near the clavicle by Conner Engrom. That was a good save, especially not to spill the rebound.
I don't think Draisaitl really argued too much on that chance, Jack. I think he felt it was a pretty good defensive play. Here's the blast by Ekholm, fended off by Saros with the blocker. They're testing him.
January
Split screen.
Yeah, two guys that just went at it. Great defensive play by Josi. No penalty on the play. Draisaitl gets sent in here, but Josi just gets his feet moving. That's the key. And because that slash on the stick was down, see, he says that's a good nod, good communication. Kelly Sutherland said, hey, that was down the shaft of the stick enough that it wasn't by the hands. If that's another foot and a half higher, no question a penalty. But Saros, I mean, Josi, if you watch him on that play, just pumping the pistons to close that distance to ensure that he doesn't take the 2 minute on Draisaitl. Good battle between two of the best in the game. Since Yosi's been in the league, fourth in scoring by defensemen.
Quick shot up top from Bunting. Deflected away by Staston. And that's another factor in Nashville slumping last year. Josi missed nearly 30 games, and he's missed time again this year. They are not the same team without a guy who still can play a Suter-esque 30 minutes on a rocking chair. Janmark tried to center, and that was well defended. In tight by Wilsby. Wilsby, a Swedish-born defenseman. Roslovic, rookie who got 23 games in last year. Reds are kind of turning over their roster a bit, as we talked about. Just 7 of the 18 players who dressed the last time these two clubs squared off. The night that Conner McDavid got his 1,000th point. Here's McDavid heading for the net. Centering deflected, and it comes right back to McDavid, intended for Hyman. With Shea defending, rolled in front, and Saros able to cover.
Just like that. Quick transitional play up the eight. Wilsby thought there was a penalty as he was trying to carry this puck up the line, but it turns over and is quickly sent up to McDavid. And he tries to throw this one through. Great stick, as you mentioned, by Shea to break up the initial. But watch how quick McDavid just turns on a dime. He fakes one way, he goes the other. Once he gets someone to bite, and Hall is a pretty darn good skater himself. It's incredible how quickly he can turn on a dime and create something out of nothing. Hyman has had a strong game around the net. Just hasn't found one to go, but he's been all over it.
O'Reilly thought he had won that draw, eventually pulled it free to Forsberg, who could not snake it between the legs of Bouchard. So it's back in. Hyman absorbs a pop from Blankenberg, got around Nick Hague, and now Nugent Hopkins will steer it right back to him. O'Reilly up the boards. Forsberg will come off, cut to the middle, and turn it over. Snap back in by Nugent Hopkins. Saros couldn't make a play on it. Hyman to McDavid. Thrust back to the point. Forsberg got it through Bouchard, and here come the Preds. Stamkos reeled in by Ekholm. That was well played. Oh, and Hyman fell down. Otherwise, he might have had a look.
He was going to be gone. That would have been a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 with McDavid coming back 3-on-2 potentially. But good read by Ekholm. He gambled. It was an outnumbered rush, but he closed the gap quickly and just snuffed it out.
1-0 game. The only goal, McDavid on the power play back in the first period. Josi settles down a dump it. Draisaitl, great hand-eye to keep it in, albeit momentarily. As it's Fedor Svechkov hustling it in. Draisaitl barreling down on him. Forced it off his stick. Tried to spoon it ahead for Kapanen. Held in for the moment by the Preds. Tyson Jost inside. Quick snapshot. Cole Smith had it blocked. Is that Rugul again? Kapanen shovels it in deep. Key block. Smith had a look at Justin Barrett. Pounded against the boards by Kapanen.
Yeah, a couple big hits by Kapanen. You know, he's missed a lot of time. He's raring to go, and that's always how you can get yourself into the game. He's been wheeling. I thought he came into training camp in tip-top shape. He was flying. Unfortunate injury in Detroit in October that sent him out for a long time, but he's buzzing again.
Willsby trying to break through Bunting. Fought off Kapanen, got it to Evangelista. Sent it across to Willsby. To the middle. Backhanded toward the net by Holla, blocked by Nurse. Evangelista ducked around a hit from Kapanen. That's how Kapanen got hurt in the first place, going for the big hit on Jacob Bernard Docker in Detroit 3 months ago.
You kind of like the fact that he hasn't changed his game, though, right?
No.
He knows exactly what he has to do. He's hungry, and I mean, Edmonton needs that. They need that forecheck. They need that physicality. Done a great job of doing that tonight, too, blocking shots.
Bunting had one denied. Savoy in hot pursuit. Oilers with 10 blocks tonight. Nudge it back through the middle, only to see it tossed back in by Hay. It's an even game right now. The Oilers have the power play goal. That's the only difference. Nurse shovels ahead. But Nashville has not played poorly tonight. I don't think they're giving Edmonton the red line there. It's icing.
From generation to generation, Coventry Homes, never done building, proudly celebrating 50 years.
Well, here's that chance by the Nashville Predators, but a great job by Ekholm to recognize they weren't really looking. It was Forsberg and Stamkos together, a little exchange, and Ekholm took that opportunity on an outnumbered rush to close the gap, get the stick in there and break it up. If he backs off there, goes to the middle, you've got talented players that now have possession in an outnumbered rush, dangerous situation. Great read.
Stretch play to Forsberg. Knocked off the puck by Emerson, but there's O'Reilly. A little behind Roman Josi, and the Preds will have to restart. O'Reilly, Stamkos, all point-per-game guys since the Preds have gone on this run to put them back in contention. Oilers trying to solidify first place in the Pacific with a win tonight and avoid a third consecutive setback. Here's Stamkos charging in. And it's stolen away by Stastny. He finds McDavid, who's in against Wilsby. Wilsby makes a great play. Oh, it's a penalty shot. Wow. Wilsby thought he had gotten enough contact from the side, but no. And now Conner McDavid
97 Edmonton's awarded a penalty shot.
awarded a penalty shot.
And you know what? Great defensive play here by Spencer Stastny. He's the one that broke it up, puts it right on the tape of Conner McDavid. There's the pass right there, looking for his first point as an Oiler. He thinks he's got it, but the dig-in hook by Wilmsby and penalty shot.
3 for 7 all-time. Conner McDavid breaks in on UC Saros. Scores! Waited until the last possible instant to flick it over the right shoulder.
Well, you're not kidding, Jack. Did he ever? Not a whole lot of players can be this patient, this many moves, that close to a goaltender, and still have the ability to elevate. I mean, he waits, and for Saros, he has to respect how quickly he can bring it all the way to the backhand. He's done it so many times. He likes to fake little flare, and then he'll wrap that puck around on the backhand side. He gets Saros to bite. Little light of day above, and he finds it right off the bar and in. Back bar, that is. 2-0 Edmonton on a pair of goals by Conner McDavid.
I mean, what do you want Saros to do?
I mean, you know me, I love the poke check, but with a guy that is that skilled with a puck on his stick, you take the chance and you miss, it's almost an automatic goal. So I think for Saros, he really thought he was going to go wrapping around on the backhand side. He would have a scouting report on McDavid, loves to make that move.
Lazar in front, tipped by Savoy, and then score! And how sweet is that for Curtis Lazar back in the lineup to slam one home. 2 goals.
Quick succession.
In 22 seconds.
There you go, 22 seconds. Thanks, partner. And it's the forecheck again and a good stick on the backtrack that breaks this puck up in motion and allows this to happen. Isaac Howard, we've talked about him a few times. Good stick to disrupt, good stick to get this puck down into the danger zone. And it's Lazar with the first shot, Savoy with the second one, the backhand chop by Lazar as he follows up a couple of shots and jams it home 22 seconds after the penalty shot goal by McDavid. 3-0 Edmonton.
Lazar, one of those players kind of on the bubble right now in terms of being in the lineup on an everyday basis. Mangiapane and Frederick in the press box tonight. Here's a chance for Nashville, trying to answer. Luke Evangelista, button hooks, backs off. Hit an open man, Justin Barron, but the former Canadian turned it over. And Bouchard on to Draisaitl. Hits the line, just missed Kasperi Kapanen. Bouchard to Ekholm. One-timer ripped wide by Draisaitl, who's frustrated. He's actually scored in just one of his last 13 games. Now the caveat is it was a hat trick. Sent across to Kapanen.
He did have 17 points in that span, but yeah, he hasn't been finding the back of the net like he normally does, and this was right in the wheelhouse, that opportunity he had.
The Edmonton Oilers, 2 goals in 22 seconds. McDavid bearing down on you. Yeah, I'd be scared too. Tonight's major part of the game brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how.
2 goals in 22 seconds. Conner McDavid hooked on the play, gets the penalty shot, goes short work on this one. Great defensive play. Matthias Janmark, not Isaac Howard, on that defensive play to keep that puck alive. Lazar shot, Savoy follows it up, and the Lazar follows up the double shot. 2 goals in 22 seconds have opened up the lead for the Edmonton Oilers, 3-0 in this second period.
A drive from distance. And here's a kick save and another one by UC Saros. The follow-up on Isaac Howard, who's been around it tonight. Regula with solid defense as Nashville approached, and now Roslovic on the counter. Chips it over to Nurse. Centering pass, and then just missed Roslovic. Here's Regula. Looking inside, threw it around the boards. And I had just been saying, Louis, that I didn't think Nashville had played a poor road game. They were right there in it. Now a giveaway by Svechkov. And the Oilers, with one more, could theoretically bury Nashville. It was a bit road weary. This a 6-game trip coming to an end right after the Christmas holiday. And they were on the road the game before that.
Yeah, so 7 road games in a row. Good point by you, partner. This has been a tough grind for the Nashville Predators, and they're at the end of it. This is the 7th straight road game, 6 games on this lengthy road trip right after the Christmas break. They have not been home since Christmas.
McDavid steered his way in. Bouchard steps up, gives it back to McDavid, who, remember, has scored twice already in this game. Zach Hyman peering inside, trying to load up. That's going to be kept in by Ekholm, and what do we have?
Saying he didn't keep it in offside.
Oh, wow.
Boy, Ekholm didn't like it too much.
No, I thought he had kept it in.
It was close. It was really close. He's like, why? You know what? They could challenge if it goes out, but here it is. Here, let's see who was right.
No,
that came out. That's
good
a good
call. Good call.
Hey, players are always going to think that it didn't come out.
I think Ekholm was a little too nonchalant with it.
Yeah.
That did just creep out.
I think what happens, and I don't think I know, he's looking to see where he wants to go with it. So he takes his eyes off the puck for that split second, and next thing you know, it just comes over the line. So good call by the linesman.
But Golson shovels it down low. He introduced himself to Nashville last year by decking Jeremy Lauzon with an overhand right. Draisaitl in front. Shot, score! Missing 36 games. Kasperi Kapanen makes it 4-0.
Yeah, just feeling it right now. And getting production down the lineup. We talked about that stat. That first goal by McDavid, 22 of 44 in the last 14 games, including this one by Hyman and McDavid. You've got 2 different goal scorers here now that have extended this lead. Lazar bangs one in on the backhand side, and Kasperi Kapanen. That's got to feel pretty darn good. His first goal of the season, missed a ton of time. He said it was agonizing, it was tough, having to have a setback, get back into the lineup. He thought he was going to be there, but he finally does. And he's had a strong game so far, gets rewarded. A little bit of a bounce off the skate of Yossi, but he'll take it.
Just his 7th game this year for Edmonton. Hard to believe again. You looked it up and you were like a little surprised just because he was again poised to come back, then injured in the practice before that return game. By the way, Podkolzin and Draisaitl with the assist for Podkolzin. It's his first point in 9 games. Draisaitl sets up Janmark. Draisaitl again haunting Nashville. 47 points now in his last 21 against the Preds. As the Oilers look for their 15th win in 18 games against Nashville, who not too long ago under Peter Laviolette won 13 in a row head-to-head against Edmonton.
He used to dominate them.
Final 10 seconds. I'm not sure we're going to see Saros in the third period, Louis. At 4-0. Annually the league leader. It might be time to get Annunen some playing time at the end of this trip. Saros kicked one last one aside. What do you think, partner?
I don't disagree with you. You know, when he's had the heavy workload, right? He's played 10. He started. Whoops, just trying to get out of the way here. A lot of the games here for the Nashville Predators on this road trip, and for
you're like Clint Eastwood. You're in the line of fire down there.
I'm not that skinny. I try and squeeze off on the wall as much as I can, but
that's an underrated Eastwood flick with Rene Russo, by the way.
I don't think we're going to see Saros in the third period. Well, but maybe I'm wrong. You know what? They play 2 nights from now in Nashville against the Islanders, so I don't know if they're going to want to have him try and gut this one out.
And a rematch with the Oilers next week. 3 goals in a span of 2:59 has broken it open. On deck, we've got a Hockey Central update with David Amber and Mike Fuda. That's next.
Welcome back. The Oilers winners of Oil Country 50-50, presented by Rogers, now live in support of the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation's Every Kid Deserves a Shot initiative. The main jackpot already closing in on $300,000 in climbing fast. Get your tickets now anywhere in Alberta at edmontonoilers.com/50-50. There they are, John and Lucas. We just told them they were on TV, and I think they're getting some text messages letting them know that they may not be needed because Conner Engrom has handled everything well through 2 periods of play on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Louis and Jack mentioned he had played for Nashville, and so here he is walking out in his opportunity to be an Edmonton Oiler out of the Oilers room. During the bubble with Nashville, he actually got a chance to get ready in the Oilers dressing room. He said the thing that struck him the most was the fireplace. He was so in awe of the fact the Edmonton Oilers have this wonderful fireplace in their lounge area in their dressing room. And so far, Conner Engrom and the Oilers are the ones that are on fire through 2 periods of play against the Nashville Predators.
Reds gave him his first shot in the NHL. Started 3 games for Nashville, one of them in this building, and was beaten by the Oilers. Gave up 4 goals in November of 2021, and his teammate UC Saros has come back out for the third period. Louis, we talked about the potential merits of him not finishing the game. What does it say that he's back out for the third?
I think it's a message. I don't know what the conversation was with him and Andrew Burnett or the goaltending coach, but listen, he probably said, I want to stay in there. He's a guy that battles. He plays a ton of games. This is 15 and 19 he started. But I think also, Jack, it's that chance by Forsberg sends a message to the team, too. This game ain't over. You still have 20 minutes to play.
Nugent Hopkins gliding in, tried to feed Hyman. That was broken up.
15 and 19 he started. But I think also, Jack, it's that chance by Forsberg sends a message to the team, too. This game ain't over. You still have 20 minutes to play.
Nugent Hopkins gliding in, tried to feed Hyman. That was broken up. And now you've got Evangelista knocked off his stick. The Oilers with 3 goals in less than 3 minutes to break it open. And an icing call whistled against the Preds. And again, we were talking about how even this game was. And then Edmonton just busted open, beginning with a penalty shot scored by that guy.
Yeah, and a beautiful pass by Spencer Stastny. Looking for his first point as an Oiler. It was a beautiful one right on the tape from McDavid that sprung him in, but he was hooked on the play. And Wilsby's the one that dug in on McDavid. He finished off the penalty shot, and then bang, bang. They just didn't look back in the second period. 4-0 into the third here as it stands. Good chance early by Forsberg. In tight on Engrom, who fended it off on the glove hand side.
Forsberg got it in deep for Cole Smith and McCarron to go to work. Regula on McCarron. Directed up top for Haig. Now a shot from distance, Blankenberg, and that might have drew iron on its way by Conner Engrom, who eventually reeled it in. Thought I heard a tick down low.
Lots of presence in front of both goaltenders in this game tonight, and especially for the Predators. They have big forwards. They get in front. This line, especially the fourth line, a little bit of a mixture here. kind of throwing pucks in there, bouncing hard off the back wall, but it's hard to read for a goaltender. He's trying to face the shooter, that hard carom. Big McCarron is in the mix there. He takes up a lot of space.
So is Reed Schaefer. Had 4 goals in the 18 NHL games he's played since being called up from Milwaukee, Nashville's longtime American Hockey League affiliate. Kapanen had one blockered into the corner. Draisaitl couldn't make a play, so here comes Schaefer. Nifty move around Regula. Boy, I thought that was close to a penalty. And then a tremendous save by Engrom, who was prostrate, but got the glove up. And now a rueful glance sent his way by Cole Smith. Basically saying, come on, man.
Are you kidding me? Terrific save. Reed Schaefer with a terrific toe drag here. Just walks around Regula. He's the one that sets that up with a shot. Again, a hard carom. So Ingram's hard on that shot by Schaefer. Then he gets across and somehow takes away. There's the Schaefers in the building thinking, hey, this kid's got a point here in Edmonton. It was a beautiful rush.
Would have been his first National Hockey League assist.
Yes,
he's got 4 goals, but no assists.
And a beauty one at that. Now it's going to be a highlight reel save by Conner Engrom.
Janmark puts the brakes on. His shot deflected a second time. Up top, Stastny shoots, and that didn't make its way on net. Rebound Stamkos, and the Preds will bust out. They've gone 3-2 on this 5-game trip after the Christmas holiday. That was a hard hit, by the way. Emerson on Holla, who thunders back into him and creates the second opportunity for Bunting, who got around Roslovic, but not McDavid and Janmark, who skipped over an idle puck that could have meant too many men against the Oilers.
Stick by Bunting there to break up a rush by McDavid. It was a quick turnover, and he just took a quick slash at it before going to the bench, and he got the puck.
Cole Smith shoots it in. Engrom couldn't sneak it by Smith. Chopped away by Ekholm. Nugent Hopkins battling. And eventually dug out. Quick shot Jost, and that was blocked by Bouchard. Jost shovels it out. One-timer ripped wide by Yossi. Boy, he can fire it. Just a reminder that we're talking about a guy who's got a couple 23-goal seasons. Here's McDavid to the net. And inexplicably tried to hit the trailer Nugent Hopkins instead of going for his 14th hat trick. I think he might have had it. If he finishes that one off, it's also 500 for Nugent Hopkins. Sends it up the left-hand side for McDavid, who will have another chance 2-on-2. Well played by Evangelista, stripping him from behind and creating a line change for Edmonton. Regula from Nurse, up the gut, Leon Draisaitl. 2 more points against the Preds tonight. McDavid 2 goals, including a penalty shot goal. And then Lazar and Kapanen with depth scoring. Here's a quick chance, and that was slammed off the goalpost. What an opportunity. And Forsberg can shoot it. Calling for the puck again from Evangelista, who instead swings to Haig. His shot punched home by O'Reilly. And there goes the shutout bid for Conner Engrom as Ryan O'Reilly puts Nashville on the board with his 12th of the year.
A couple great chances here. Evangelista with a nice toe drag. It was a good stick by Darnell Nurse to poke check him. It went right to Forsberg on the first chance that he rings the bar on. And then they stay with it. And the Predators have come out in this third period, Jack. The whole bench erupted after this goal to make it 4-1. They've finally gotten one by Conner Engrom. And it's Haig that gets it down. Call it a lucky bounce, whatever you want. They created this one on hard work in the offensive zone. And Ryan O'Reilly's always had such a quick, hard stick around the net. Taps that one home. And they're on the board.
4-1.
And again, we go back to UC Saros staying in between the pipes for the Nashville Predators. They've come to play here in this third.
Haig and Evangelista with the helpers on O'Reilly's 12th. Conner Engrom will have to wait for another night for his 8th career shutout, and all of a sudden we've got a game. Blankenburg threw a screen, and it's 4-2. And the Preds quick strike with 2 goals in 15 seconds. It's game on at Rogers Place.
I had a terrific view from my angle on this shot by Blankenburg, and I mean, this couldn't have been placed more perfectly. There was a lot of traffic in front of Engrom. Look at this one. McCarron once again in a battle in front with Regula, and this one just avoids everybody. The one-timer by Blankenburg far side. Not a chance for Engrom on this one. He gets it away on the fly, and that's the key. Inside the post, 2 quick goals. It was Edmonton in the second period with 2 quick goals, 22 seconds apart. Nashville responds with 2 quick ones themselves. Leads cut to 2.
And I think that's going to be Reed Schaefer's first NHL assist, partner.
There you go.
Savoy off the half wall to Jack Roslovic. So the Oilers 2 goals in 22 seconds late in the second. 2 goals in 15 ticks of the clock for the Preds. Here to start the third, and now Josi has drawn a penalty. Hooking Savoy to the box, and suddenly in 4.5 minutes, and more accurately the last minute,
22, minor penalty, hooking.
the Preds have turned a stroll into some real adversity.
Well, they came out, let's face it, we're down 4-0, could have gone either way. There could have been the backup goaltender going in, but for Andrew Brunette, it's UC Saros stays in the pipes, and they have been pushing the issue right from the get-go. 2 quick goals and a hooking penalty now as Josi keeps his feet moving through the neutral zone into the zone. Power play second for the Nashville Predators.
And the Preds power play, remember, has been hot as of late. Did not convert their first opportunity in the second period. Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, at Coleman, Bouchard. A bit of a hush has moved through the building as Nashville's made it a game. Forsberg around the boards. Remember, this is a club that's won 6 of its last 8, 13 of its prior 19. Get back in the race as far as a wild card spot in the Western Conference. O'Reilly to Evangelista, tugged in by Forsberg. Here's Emberson, trying to go hard up the boards, but Colson. Forsberg couldn't get around Stasty, and Janmark was able to fish it out. Now he's got Colson with him. Janmark to the net, shoots, and a save made by Saros. Exactly the kind of stop his team needed to keep them in the game. Still 50 seconds on the power play. Alla drops it to Nick Blankenberg. He's now tied with Josi for the team lead in defense scoring. Really had a nice year. Sent across by Svechkov to Michael Bunning. Picked up a second assist on the goal scored by Blankenberg. You've got Svechkov, shadowed by Nugent Hopkins and Nurse. Up top, Blankenberg. Svechkov, Blankenberg shot just wide. Engrom rebounds Svechkov. Bunting coming off the goal line. Just 10 seconds now on the power play. Nugent Hopkins a steal. Up to McDavid. Bouchard takes off. 2-on-2. McDavid to the net. Bouchard's drawn a penalty as it goes off the pads of Saros. And that's the threat of having McDavid out there. Bouchard knew it, took off with him, and the net result is an Oiler power play.
Number 76, for hooking.
Well, the Preds are back in the game, but the Oilers to the man advantage.
I thought that I'd seen everything on this job.
I'd like to combine forces.
Tonight's play of the game brought to you by Rogers. This is our game.
Well, Conner McDavid with a beautiful goal in the first period made it 1-0. In the second period, a hard-fought tight period. Gets hooked up on the breakaway penalty shot, and what a beautiful move to elevate in tight on UC Saros' second of the game. Edmonton opened it up after that, Jack. Nashville's grinded back, good penalty kill, and Evan Bouchard's drawn a call. Edmonton will be on the power play for the second time in this game.
50% on penalty shots, 43% in the shootout for his career for Conner McDavid. Now the Oilers trying to stretch their lead back to 3. On a hard rim and out. Brady Shea in the box as Bouchard created the power play with a hard and determined net drop. Draisaitl hits McDavid, dashing to the net, pulls it across, and the stone. That time, Josi able to stay with it. Draisaitl, Bouchard, McDavid through one man, trying to flick it down low, broken up by Haig. Draisaitl keeps possession. Bouchard holds the zone. Nugent Hopkins to the net. Cross ice and shot back out the other side by Zach Hyman. Got her on the heel of a stick. Hyman again. Tried to chip it in front for Draisaitl. Had it tipped away. McDavid in front. Draisaitl stopped. Hyman stopped. And a blade went flying as Saros came up with a puck.
Hyman's stick just erupted at the worst time as he tried to take another chance on net. Excellent movement of the puck by Edmonton against an aggressive penalty-killing unit. Here's a little drop pass into the zone. I mean, McDavid has done this for over a month and a half. When he has an inch, he's going to take a mile. Great pass by Nugent Hopkins, just shot off a little wide by Hyman. And then this one here, the eruption, as that was the blade of Hyman's stick that shattered almost the glass.
He ended up with a pool cue in his hands. Off the draw, Nugent Hopkins shovels it over to Bouchard. Under pressure from Blankenberg, who does a nice job of muscling that through the neutral zone and forcing the Oilers to regroup. Halfway through the penalty to Shea, 12.5 left in regulation. This one getting interesting as the Preds score twice in 15 seconds. McDavid keeps it alive, and a one-timer stopped by Saros at the expense of Leon Draisaitl. Here's McDavid again, hard to the net. Poke check that time. You called for it earlier, partner. Saros got a stick on that one, but Bouchard to Draisaitl. Stopped initially by Haula. Nugent Hopkins keeps it alive. Crowded up top by Josi. Draisaitl protecting against Blankenberg across to Bouchard, and now McDavid. Bouchard stepping in front. Hyman deflects off the boards. And Ryan O'Reilly gathers and calmly clears up the left-hand side. That'll chase the top unit off the ice as the power play expires.
I mean, that's one of those power plays you come back to the bench and say, how did we not score on that one? Terrific movement.
Savoy shot off the rush. Blockered away by Saros. Rebound Nurse. And that pinballed off a couple bodies and sailed about 14 rows up.
This period brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of no payments, no interest for 1 year.
So many different chances on this power play, and it was just quick plays, movement, and this one-timer again. He got all of that one, Draisaitl. Good flex in the stick as he let that one go, and UC Saros with the left pad kicks it away. Saros elevate a little bit higher, but still got it away in a hurry.
30 stops tonight for Saros. Gainley keeping Nashville in. And the Preds have finally gotten two by Engrom. Streaking in left-hand side, Roslovic tried to free it up for Savoy. Instead, it's Howard who blistered one up over top. And again, Isaac Howard has had some good looks tonight. He's been around it, and a beautiful feed earlier to Savoy.
Did a good job to get that from backhand to forehand quickly and get the shot away. Great speed by Roslovic down the wall.
Jost has it forced wide by Darnell Nurse. And now a reset. Ekholm to Roslovic. Spooned it back to Ekholm. Rimmed around a third time to Roslovic, and then Colson fell. Janmark burrowed his way in. Knocked off balance by Haig. Lead pass, Forsberg. Dropped off to him by O'Reilly. Haig was the late man in, taken off the puck by Janmark as he mishandled that puck. Years ago, Haig beat out Bouchard for the Ontario Hockey League Defenseman of the Year honors. And Bouchard remembers. Off the left-hand side. Stamkos squeezed off the puck at the line, and here comes Nugent Hopkins on the counter. Pried off his stick and flipped out by Bunning. 10 minutes to play. Oilers still up 4-2. Eric Haula jams it in deep. 1-0 after one. And then the 3 goals at the end of the second period seemingly salted it away for Edmonton. But Nashville has refused to quit. Josi defending. Hyman breaks through. Trying to leave it for McDavid. A little bit of a miscommunication. And now Josi will angle one off the boards for Haula. Moving in, shooting, and that one off the post. Rebound. Evangelista. And the Preds by an eyelash miss out on a chance to go down just 4-3. Bouchard to McDavid. Haig. Haula. Schaefer. Another reminder, end of a road trip. 4 goals down. It's still the National Hockey League. Team scores a couple, and all of a sudden, the entire mood can change.
Different game.
Schaefer fires it in. Lead pass tipped away. Kapanen. And I think you were bang on. Sending Saros out. Message, hey, we haven't conceded this one. No white flags. McCarron. Reds thought that might have been played with a high stick. McCarron a second chance. Rifles it right into the midsection of Conner Engrom, who makes his 20th save of the night. Well, there's a close-up look at where this man hit the post. And as a result, the Oilers still by a deuce. Edmonton 4, Nashville 2. Still half a period to go. It was 4-0 after 2. There was to be no nursing a lead home tonight, Louis. How does Edmonton get to the finish line?
I think they keep pushing. You know, we're seeing the elevation and the skating go up again. The shot clock, they're starting to extend a little bit. It was Nashville to start the period, I believe, 5-1 in shots in the first few minutes. A post hit by Forsberg, but Edmonton has started to push back. I think the power play got them moving again. That's how you finish off a game. Keep pushing.
And speaking of moving, here's Conner McDavid in full flight. Nugent Hopkins in front, tipped away from Hyman. McDavid off to Bouchard, a shot from distance, and that was blocked. And remember, it was Bouchard who got the feet moving to create that power play. He was a bit of a trigger man in terms of the Oilers finding their traction here in the third.
I think the next outnumbered rush, they need to fire out on Saros. Fake shot and pass.
Shea, shot stopped. Lead pass too far.
Or fake pass and shot. Sorry.
For McDavid.
That's 2 outnumbered rushes. They haven't got a shot on net.
Savoy dies a coward. Tried to flip it back to Savoy, and it's returned down low for Jack Roslovic, playing center on this line. Held in by Stastny. Roslovic on his backhand to Howard in front. And that stayed out. Saros came up with it somehow on a bit of a swim move. Telling you, Howard has put it in dangerous spots tonight.
It's good. And Savoy driving to the net. I like this play by Howard. Good little exchange here with Roslovic, but he knows there's a lot of skates, sticks in the area, so he zings this one into the blue paint. It's not a soft pass. He's looking for a ricochet. Obviously, if Savoy can get the stick down and tap this in, but he's got 2 skates, a blade, you got the defenseman's skates there too, and Saros comes up with a solid save in tight. Could have easily gone in.
I've liked Isaac Howard's game all night. And I think he's got a little chemistry with Savoy, as you've pointed out at various points during tonight's game.
Playing quick.
Howard taken down, a hard shot. Roslovic, a save made by Saros, launched ahead, backing his way in, bunting. And then when he tried to center, Stastny got back in time.
Great skating by Stastny again. He's had a strong game against his old team for the first time.
And as you said,
portions of his time spent with Nashville, but he's buckling down. He's excited to play against his old mates. And +2 tonight in this game. Strong performance defensively and making some moves with that skating ability.
Plus an assist in brackets on the penalty shot.
Yeah, there you go.
Play Alberta's biggest offer ever is here. Sign up today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Had a good conversation with Spencer about playing against his old team. He said, I'm excited. Most guys would be nervous. He says, nope, you know what? I know these guys are my friends, but excited to get out there and battle. And there's that skating ability again. The Oilers have attacked hard. They've backtracked hard. They've been aggressive, broken up a lot of plays coming back aggressively. Started with Hyman's backtrack in the first period. Incredible.
Smith, Jost, Svechkov out there for Nashville. The Oilers punching up the left-hand side. Kapanen looking for the center pass, snapped home by Leon Draisaitl, who caps a 3-point night with his 21st goal of the year. 5-2 Edmonton, and that may do it.
We talked about his success against the Nashville Predators. I don't know what it is, but he just seems to score every game against this team. He's had a strong game. He's had some excellent chances to put the puck in the net. It hasn't gone in for him, but it's not from lack of trying, that's for sure. And he just takes this one. It's a poke Defensive play by Hag, gets a big chunk of this puck, but look at the hand-eye by Draisaitl. Stays with it on the one hop and just jams this one home. Good play again into the zone, capping him with speed. There's the fist bump. He's been good on that line with Podkolzin and Draisaitl. They got scored on earlier in the period. A little redemption right there in that goal to extend the lead to 3 once again.
And a combined 7 points for that line. Draisaitl, a goal and 2 assists. Kapanen, a goal and a helper. And Podkolzin, who again had not had a point in his prior 8 games, with 2 assists. Oilers 5, Preds 2. Stastny able to stick handle his way out of trouble. Janmark taken down, got it up to the red line. Now Jost in front, good chance. Svechnikov stopped by Conner Engrom. He's got 22 saves and a 3-goal lead at his back with less than 6 to play. Leon Draisaitl, 27 goals his last 21 against Nashville.
A couple assists in this one, a couple big hits, a couple chances to score. I consider that a good step back into the lineup for Kasperi Kapanen.
Well, and again, it's funny, you know, he gets hurt in Detroit, and you think, boy, he was just poised there. And I know he only had 2 assists in the 6 games. Here's a chance, O'Reilly, and a save made by Conner Engrom. But I know you agree with me. You liked his camp, and a save made by Conner Engrom. But I know you agree with me. You liked his camp, and you felt like he might have a pretty decent year.
He came in really motivated. You know, I think that playoff run last year to the Stanley Cup final, as it does for a lot of players, it was motivation. There was a chip on the shoulder. And I felt Kapanen came in, looked like he was flying, looked like he was a little lighter, looked like he was skating better. And to me, I think it's an opportunity that he sees. When you come to a team where you think you have an opportunity to win, it certainly motivates you.
Shot blocked from up top.
And for him, unfortunately, he got injured. I mean, it is part of the game. It sucks, but it is part of the game. And he missed a lot of time, but he's worked hard to get himself back into shape and back into the lineup. And now, you know, you have that internal competition amongst players because there's a couple guys that are sitting out watching, Mangiapane and Frederick, and you know they're going to want to get them back in the lineup at times too. You're going to have to fight for your opportunity and ice time, and that's never a bad thing with a team. When there's competition internally, it makes you a better team. It does, and it sucks for the guys that are on the outside looking in, but it might motivate you a little bit to go out there and work a little harder and do more to try and stay in the lineup, and that's kind of what it's all about, right? You earn your time.
Kapanen ended the Vegas series in overtime last year, a goal that put the Oilers in the final, and he's celebrating the 10-year anniversary yesterday of another big goal he scored to give Finland a gold medal at the World Juniors. Here's a stop by Saros against Leon Draisaitl, and that was a loaded Finnish team back in 2016. Draisaitl's thinking he should have had 2. Only he would think that from that spot.
And I mean, look at the save Saros makes there. That's not your typical butterfly come across in position. It's the scarecrow. He just literally throws an arm and shoulder in front of that because that was going in from that angle. And you're right, not too many think that should go in from that angle. I think Draisaitl does.
You talk about sometimes how the game has changed, Louis. Did people shoot from there 35 years ago?
Pavel Bure. Pavel Bure was one of the first guys that I saw that had that wicked one-timer on the power play especially. And he would sink down, not as low as Draisaitl into the corner, but he would sink down literally to the hash marks and around that area. And he could rip it. He could rip it from that spot. Left-handed shot similar to Draisaitl, so on the right-hand side of the ice. There has always been great shooters in the game. I mean, Brett Hull would get lost. He was another guy that no matter what angle he was at, he seemed to be able to find the net. But Draisaitl's made a career out of it. You know, he's really mastered that sharp angle shot. And you're right, we're seeing it more and more now from players. Difficult save for the goaltender.
Also that bank off the nameplate occasionally from beneath the goal line.
Off the ear, off the helmet. Like you're seeing, players are really creative, and I think the skating players in the game have caught up to the goaltenders. The goaltenders owned the game for a long time. Scoring was down, and rightfully so. They worked at their game individually, and they found ways to be big, to be systematic, to be in position on most shots, and they use that, the percentages, to their advantage. I think the players now are they have caught up. They're picking corners now. They're not messing around. When they get opportunities, if there's light of day, they'll find it. And that's just a testament to, I think, training 365 days of the year, sport-specific training, the equipment, all that goes into it. But the players have closed the gap and have caught up and are now finding ways to score.
Icing against Edmonton.
Century Casino. All in, all games, all season. Century Casino. Great locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile Racetrack. Welcome to the Winner's Zone.
I got the hairy eyeball from Calvin Picker. He's like, no, they haven't caught up.
5-2.
Well, you know what? It was a necessity, right?
Here's a wraparound effort in front for Stamkos. Well, they did call it the dead puck era for a while. Savoy flipped in by Isaac Howard. Saros to Blankenberg. Right side Stamkos lost it in his jersey. Here's Savoy giving it up. Roslovic a snapshot and a save made by Saros, who's been peppered with 39 shots tonight. Bouchard to Roslovic. And now Isaac Howard. Last Bouchard up high. That stayed out. These two teams will play one another again in a week. Edmonton will be on the second of a back-to-back, having played in Chicago the night prior. And then later on this year, Oilers will welcome the Preds one more time to Rogers Place, where they're about to win for the 8th time in 9 tries against Nashville. Steal by Lazar sets up Janmark over to Stastny. And now the Oilers wheeling it around, comfortable with a 5-2 lead. Janmark in tight, couple of whacks at it. Lazar denied his second goal of the night as Saros continues to hang in.
Yeah, and Edmonton continues to push. We talked about it, Jack, that, you know, credit Nashville. They came out with that last kind of real push at the start of the third period. This has been a long trip for them, and I think they've kind of run out of gas here now with the score 5-2, and Edmonton continues to push. But credit Edmonton. They weathered the storm, solid penalty kill, drew their own power play. Bouchard's work up the ice. They didn't score in the power play, but I think it just got their feet moving again, and they have not looked back. They've played much sounder throughout this third period, and more importantly, they spent a lot of time in the offensive zone testing Saros once again.
And as a result, a season-high 42 shots on net for the Edmonton Oilers. Evangelista had a glance off his stick. Darnell Nurse over to Alec Regula. Here giveaway, but recovered and ultimately backhanded safely out by Janmark to Howard, who nudges it back across the line. Usual suspects mixed in with a little depth scoring tonight for the Oilers. McDavid already with 2 taken off his feet. You know he doesn't want to sit on the bench for the last 5 minutes, so he gets a shift here late in the game. Draisaitl with a goal and 2 assists. And with those 2 goals, McDavid back into a tie for the league lead in scoring with Nate McKinnon, who did not get a point tonight. Colorado slumping, Louis. What's going on? The Avalanche have lost 2 in a row in regulation.
Isn't that unbelievable? I mean, that's adversity for them this year, which is just remarkable. They've had such a season.
McDavid.
But yeah, joking aside, for them, that is a long losing streak this year.
Has to be the first time Colorado and Dallas have lost on the same night this year. Along with Minnesota, those 3 running away with the Central. Here's Nugent Hopkins in tight. Hat-trick, Conner McDavid! The 14th of his career. Nugent Hopkins, his 500th assist. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you stay to the end of the game. 6-2.
Yeah, beautiful passing once again. And for Nugent Hopkins, you mentioned it, 500 assists for him, and it caps off the hat trick for Connor McDavid, who has been fantastic once again. I mean, I think the greatest level that he's been to, he is just doing things right now and making it look so easy. But Nugent Hopkins, the entire time here, was looking, giving him some shots on the bench now because they know it's 500. So congratulations to Nugent Hopkins for 500 assists, the longest tenured Oiler, first overall in 2011. He's endured a lot of pain and suffering with this organization, has seen a lot of tremendous hockey here in the last 6-7 years, and Conner McDavid over to get that puck for his line mate and teammate Ryan Nugent Hopkins for 500, and I don't think this one will be split in half. Connor's had a few hat tricks in his career. Nuge is going to have that one.
14 of them, and with that goal, not only has Conner McDavid taken over the NHL scoring lead, well, we'll tell you in a second. Louis, break this one down for us.
Yeah, again, just continuing to attack, continuing to come up with pucks, and the movement tonight in this game for Edmonton has been really, really good. And it got stagnant after the break, let's face it. One win in their 4 games after the break coming into this game against Nashville, but they have been buzzing, and the top line has been almost unstoppable. They've had some tremendous chances. They've capped off a bunch, and there's the hat-trick goal for Conner McDavid as the hats come down on the ice. Terrific passing once again, and Nugent Hopkins just threads this through Hag right onto the tape. He's not going to miss from there, and there's the tape getting written up for 500 assists for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Congratulations.
500 assists and 993 career games as an Oiler. And listen to that roar. I've said this before, Louis. There's no greater player in the game than Conner McDavid, but I'm not sure there's a more popular player in Edmonton than Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah, he's just such a great human being, number one, off the ice. When you talk to Ryan, and you figure out pretty quickly he's just a tremendous human being, but he's been, you know, he's lived this game for the Oilers. He's bled the colors. I mean, he loves being an Oiler. 2 long-term contracts to stay with the team. And you know what? Like I said, the first big chunk of years were not fun for Ryan Nugent Hopkins for the Edmonton Oilers. They had to endure a lot of suffering and pain to become the challenger they are right now to win the Stanley Cup. And 2 Stanley Cup finals, they want more. But for Nugent Hopkins, the longest tenured guy, he's been here the longest of any player, and proud to do that. And he does so many things on and off the ice for this community.
Speaking of community, how about Barry Devlin with a hat trick scored by Conner McDavid? He's won groceries for a year. Not sure he's going to get another shift from McDavid. If he does and a goal results, that's groceries for life.
Is that like Louis caliber groceries in a year?
I'm not sure Barry's appetite, but I'll tell you what, that's part of the Save on Foods $1 million score win.
Way nowadays.
A lot of winners tonight, including 18,347 who see the Oilers break their 2-game slide emphatically 6-2 over the Nashville Predators.
Oilers Plus. Now, live movie camera, post-game forward, back in the win column checkmark. Tune in now for live post-game coverage as the Oilers beat the Predators 6-2.
Strong performance by the team. Good push by the Nashville Predators. This was the game you mentioned it a couple times, Jack, in the balance. Nashville, Edmonton going toe-to-toe. Saros was playing incredible. Conner Engrom with another win, his 3rd for the Edmonton Oilers. But just continue to stay with it. Don't bend but don't break. And in the 3rd period, when Nashville really pushed, Edmonton just settled in, found a way to once again extend the lead. Never look back. 6-2 the final in this one.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Rogers 5G Plus Network. Plus it up with 5G Plus plans that give you more on Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network. And by Molson. We've been everywhere because we're for everyone. Molson. Everyone in.
Tonight's Molson 3 stars as the Oilers blast Nashville 6-2.
Well, this one changed a lot in the 3rd period. Draisaitl with 3 points tonight, a goal and 2 assists. Always plays well against the Nashville Predators. Kapanen back since October. Just a tremendous outing with a goal and assist. 2 points for him and Conner McDavid, his 14th career hat trick. Honorable mention, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, his 500th assist on that last goal to cap off the hat trick. And Spencer Stastny, I thought, played really strong game against his old team.
And Lou Dog
Vegas came back to beat Winnipeg in overtime, so Edmonton remains in a first-place tie. Ahead this week on Sportsnet, all-Canadian matchup, Calgary and Montreal tomorrow. That's a 5 o'clock Mountain Time start. And then Louie and I will be in Winnipeg on Thursday. Boy, the Jets just can't buy one. Another blown lead tonight against the Golden Knights. We'll have it for you 6 Mountain Thursday on Sportsnet West. Yeah, Hunter was fired up because Nashville's in town. And Edmonton now 15-1-2 in its last 18 against the Preds. McDavid scored on a penalty shot, part of his 14th career hat trick. Nugent Hopkins, career assist number 500. Straight ahead, we've got Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC, with our pals Ken and Ivanka. For G. Principe and Louis DeBrus, I'm Jack Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours.